Here's what you've always been told. Follow your dreams. Here's the part they leave out. Follow your dreams straight into burnout, debt, and disappointment. Look at you, hopeful, hungry, clutching your little dream like it's not going to ruin you. That's cute. You read the quote somewhere, probably in a Pinterest post overlaid on a picture of someone doing yoga on a cliff. Follow your dreams. It sounded so powerful, so pure, so delusional. And so you did it. You followed your dreams. You abandoned stability, security, and self-respect in the name of passion. You said goodbye to boring jobs and said hello to inspiration. Fast forward 6 months. You're broke, creatively constipated, and wondering if dog walking counts as a side hustle or if it's just your life now. But don't worry, you didn't fail. You evolved. You went from chasing your dream to managing your expectations with Zoloft and memes. Let's begin. It started with a breakdown, a breakthrough. Your 9 to 5 wasn't fulfilling you. Shocking. Your boss, Rick, kept sending motivational gifts to the team Slack while outsourcing your job to an unpaid intern named Evan. Your co-workers spoke in acronyms. Your lunch break was scheduled like a parole meeting. So you said, screw this. You walked out the door with your head high, your middle finger higher, and a vision board in your backpack. You were finally free to create, free to be poor, but mostly free to post cryptic stories on Instagram about new chapters and big risks. The first week felt amazing. You drank oat milk lattes at 11 a.m. and tweeted things like, capitalism is the dream killer. You were the main character. Then the second week hit. You realized your dream had a dark side. It wanted money. It wanted discipline. It wanted you to be your own boss, which mostly meant having arguments with yourself and Googling how to send an invoice that sounds confident but not needy. You missed Rick. Now you're a freelancer. That's just Latin for a person who works 12 hours a day for exposure and regrets. You started calling your bed the office. You scheduled meetings with yourself. You downloaded 17 productivity apps and used none of them. You made a Notion board titled Master Plan and never looked at it again. Every morning, you stare at your to-do list and whispered, let's crush it, while dying a little inside. You followed every CEO of my life, TikTok coach, and tried that thing where you wake up at 5 a.m. and drink lemon water while journaling. You did it for 3 days before collapsing into a shame spiral and eating Doritos in the shower. Your dream life became a loop. Wake up, pretend to create, scroll, panic, procrastinate, post something vague, cry, repeat, but it's fine. You told yourself this is the price of greatness, which is what people say when they're broke and spiraling, but too embarrassed to admit it. So here's the part no one tells you. Chasing your dream means becoming a full-time everything. You're not just the artist. You're the marketer, the accountant, the social media manager, the shipping department, the guy who responds to emails at 2 a.m. with thanks for reaching out and dead eyes. You designed a website. It took 3 weeks, 2 breakdowns, and ended with you paying a guy named Kevin on Fiverr who responded only in GIFs. You set up a newsletter. 3 people subscribed. 1 was your mom. 1 was a bot. The 3rd unsubscribed with a comment. Please stop. Still, you persisted. You created a launch calendar. You hosted a giveaway where the prize was your dignity. You even printed business cards because some part of you still believes networking is real. You now speak in hashtags and cry in Canva. But you can't stop because you made a promise to yourself. And because if you quit now, your cousin Chad will win. And Chad sells protein powder from a yacht. Rock bottom wasn't when your rent bounced. It was when you bought a ring light and a Blue Yeti mic and said, I think I have something important to say. You launched The Dreamer's Paradox, a podcast about the creative journey. Episode 1 was 48 minutes of you breathing heavily and talking about imposter syndrome. It had 3 listeners. 1 was your ex. 1 was you, replaying to boost views. 1 was a Russian bot that left a comment about crypto. You kept recording. You got better. You interviewed other creatives who were also slowly unraveling in aesthetically lit apartments. You weren't sure what the point was anymore, but you had a Patreon. That made it feel real. Even though it had one subscriber, your mom again, you had gone full delusion. And somehow, you were still optimistic. You tried building a brand online. You made reels. You posted quotes. You danced. You pointed at floating text. You whispered into the void. You begged the algorithm for crumbs. You read somewhere that authenticity builds trust. So you filmed a video where you cried softly while holding candle. It got 4 likes and 1 DM that said, "Are you okay, hun?" You weren't. Your grid was aesthetic. Your life was a landfill. But you kept posting because you were told that consistency builds connection. You became a content machine. You stopped creating art and started making content. You began referring to everything in life as content. You watched your dreams shrink from a burning passion to a scheduled post at 3 p.m. on Tuesday, because that's when engagement is best. You hated it. But also, what if the next one goes viral? Then one day it changed, not because of hustle, not because of a breakthrough, but because you stopped caring. You stopped chasing. You started laughing. You made a dumb video about how your dream was ruining your life. It went viral. People related. They shared. They said, "This is exactly how I feel." You didn't win, but you connected. Your dream didn't come true. It mutated. It adjusted. It became something honest. And maybe that's the real success story, not the TED Talk kind, but the "I survived and I'm funny about it now" kind. You followed your dream. It wrecked you, but hey, now you've got great material.